Oftentimes when I'm working with a client, they tell me that they can't be alone, that they need companionship no matter what, and often they find themselves in, bad relationships because they can't stop the cycle. They can't stop the cycle of maybe spending time with themselves instead of just wanting to spend time with anybody so they're not alone. It's easy to fall into that trap of avoiding time with ourselves, and we have to really think about the other side of the coin, about cultivating a relationship and spending that time with ourselves and getting to know ourselves and understanding how important that truly is. It's interesting. Many of us don't really get to know ourselves at all. We try to avoid it. We try to find as many friends as possible, invite anybody over. We have a lot of quick friends. You'll meet somebody at a bar, you'll meet somebody out, and you're like, come on over, hang out, let's do this, and you barely know them. It's kind of similar when we're trying to get to know ourselves. You ever sat next to somebody on the drive or the ride into work, or maybe on a plane? How far did you really get to know that person, and how much did you really learn? And oftentimes, us hanging out with ourselves is like hanging out with a stranger in the plane seat next to you. It can be very awkward, it can be very overwhelming, and it can feel, like it's not even worth it. But I figured out one thing in life is that if you want to eliminate bad relationships from your life, and you want to stop going through that cycle of basically dealing with people who either don't care or who use you or take advantage of your hospitality or your goodness of heart, it's time to begin to learn to love ourselves and spend time with ourselves, because once we get to learn about ourselves, we begin to understand what we will deal with in our life and what we will not deal with in our life. So how do you begin to make a friendship with yourself? And that's a good question. It's the same as dating somebody else. You don't just sit there and call them on the phone. You got to hang out with them. You got to spend time with them. You're going to have food with them. You're going to cook a meal together. You're going to watch movies together. You're going to take a walk in the park. You're going to do all these things that cultivate a relationship with someone else. Okay, now you get it. Now that's what you use to cultivate a relationship with yourself. I did it myself. I actually stopped dating for about a year of time. It's documented in my last book. And I spent a lot of time getting to know me. I spent time with myself. I cooked for myself. I cleaned my house. I did lawn work. I actually walked in the park. I did lots of walking and thinking and journaling. And all those things went a long way for me to appreciate me. Okay? When you begin to appreciate yourself, you begin to realize that you're not going to take crap in your life and you're going to see it a mile away. Another good thing about cultivating this relationship is that you begin to actually appreciate spending time with you. There's no more awkward moments or wondering what to think or whatever. You actually get to understand where you're coming from. You deal with some of the setbacks in your life, some of the challenges that you've had. But better yet, one of the biggest things is that you begin to embrace a relationship with yourself and begin to find that self-love. And that is, my dear, the most important thing that you can do in your entire life. Because once we learn how to unconditionally love ourselves, we can unconditionally love other people. We don't have to deal with their crap, but we can unconditionally love them at their core. One of the biggest caveats to getting to know yourself and putting that phone down, okay, hanging out with your phone 24/7 when you're supposed to be dating yourself is not part of the requirement. It's actually about putting that phone down and realizing that you are creating and cultivating a relationship with yourself so that when you do meet somebody that you actually want to date, you can tell and actually understand, are they somebody for me, or do I need to actually find another fish in the sea? Last but not least, this is practice that goes throughout your entire life. Remember, you came into this world, you were born on your own. Even if you're a twin, you were born at your own time, not together. And we leave this world on our own as well. So don't you think that cultivating a relationship with yourself is probably the most important thing in your life? Well, if you do, you figured out one of the secrets to life. Try doing this. Try working on not being able to be alone and realizing that sometimes we suffer more because we're too scared to learn about ourselves. Live your true life today.